I'm Gary C. Johnson. I developed a method of representing my clients called Judo Law. Using Judo Law, our team set the record for the largest personal injury verdict in the state of Kentucky. No other law firm has even come close. We've had several multi-million-dollar verdicts since then, and guess what? Now, most of our cases settle. If you've been hurt and you need money fast, give us a call, pound hurt.
If you're hurt, injured, don't waste time. Gary Johnson drives for every dime.
Welcome to Simply the Law, a program created by attorney Gary C. Johnson. Simply the Law provides free legal advice and encourages happiness and quality of life. Now, here's Simply the Law with Gary C. Johnson. Hello, everyone. Welcome into Simply the Law. I'm Keith Casebolt. As my dear friend Gary C. Johnson says, it's always good to be here, but trust me, Gary, it's really good to be here. And look how laid back you are.
Unbelievable good to be here.
Relaxed without the tie and everything.
Well, you know, I'm working from home.
Oh, so you're not really here.
I'm not really here. I'm somewhere else.
Okay.
I decided that ties make you do this. And I got sick of doing this. So I threw the tie away. You folks don't mind, do you? It's okay, right? You'll let me get by with it, at least this time.
Sure.
How you guys doing? Another week, right? You got over all those big quarrels and things are going smooth as silk. Silk, right? I want to talk to you tonight, and I'm going to get straight into it, about attitude. Because right now, that is extremely important with all that's going on about how you deal with your attitude. I was talking to a fellow the other day, and it wasn't Keith, believe it or not, about the thoughts in your brains and what goes on in regard to that. And it reminded me of a section in this book, and I'm hoping I'll get to it. The book I'm going to be talking to you about tonight is this one right here, John C. Maxwell, The Difference Maker, and it's about attitude. And he's got some wonderful little things in it that, my friends, if you will bear with me, I will share with you that may make a little bit of difference in your attitude. So let's go to the computer. There's our phone number if you need to reach us in Lexington, GaryCJohnson.com. In general, make sure you have underinsurance that protects you and your family. Attitude. Attitude is a little thing that makes a big difference. Now, who said that? Winston Churchill.
Isn't that the truth?
The book, in case any of you want to find the book and look at it, it's a great book. It's got all kinds of wonderful things that may help you with your attitude. It's the difference maker, and it is. Attitude. What is attitude? Got the old glasses on. I'm going to read you what he said about attitude. I think you'll find it interesting. I did. Your attitude colors every aspect of your life. It is like the mind's paintbrush. It can paint everything in bright, vibrant colors, creating a masterpiece. Or it can make everything dark and dreary. Attitude is so pervasive and important that I've come to think of it like this. And then he's got a list, and I'm going to read the list to you. It is the vanguard of your true self. Its root is inward, but its fruit is outward. It is your best friend or your worst enemy. It is more honest and consistent about you than your words by far. It is your outward look based on your past experiences. It is what draws people to you or repels them. It is never content until it is expressed, and it will be. It is the librarian of your past. It is the speaker of your present. It is the prophet of your future. And then he says your attitude covers every aspect of your life. And again, it is like the mind's paintbrush. Now, isn't that really neat, my friends?
It is neat, and you know, what gets me about this is I catch myself on a daily basis. Maybe, you know, getting a little hateful or snappy, or the attitude changes, and I keep thinking about what you say, that it's always a choice, and I try and stop myself and say, all right, stop this. You're falling into this cloud over you, and it's amazing that when you stop and you turn the switch, it works.
And you can do it, my friends. You can even take your tie off, okay? It's wonderful. What a wonderful life we're living. Even with all of the fear-mongering that's going on, my friends that watch this program, you're not falling for that stuff, are you? You're living your life. You're being happy. You're enjoying everybody around you. You're being appreciative. You're saying thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you a lot every day. Because guess what? Got a lot to be thankful for. Look around. You'll always find someone in worse shape than you are. You usually don't have to look very far. Okay? Now, let's go back to the computer. What's the next one we're going to talk about in this book? It's self-image. What's that got to do with attitude, right, my friends? Well, I'm going to read you what Maxwell had to say about it.
I think this is going to be the best one, honestly, because this self-image thing, you pointed out on the radio program one time, until you like or love yourself, how could you ever expect anyone else to do the same?
That's true. Okay, let's go find what he said about self-image. I marked it here, and hopefully, because I marked it, I will find it. Page 8. Self-image. Why is that so important? How you see yourself. How you see yourself has a tremendous impact on your attitude. Poor self-image and poor attitudes often walk hand in hand. It's hard to see anything in the world as positive if you see yourself as negative. Dwayne Dyer advises, examine the labels you apply to yourself. Every label is a boundary or limit you will not let yourself cross. If you're having trouble getting where you want to go, the trouble may be inside you. If you don't change your inward feelings about yourself, you will be unable to change your outward actions toward others. Now, isn't that so profound? Isn't that the truth, my friends?
It is the truth.
You got to love yourself. And if you don't love yourself, you're not going to love anybody else. You got to respect yourself. And if you don't respect yourself, you're not going to respect anybody else.
But you know, Gary, what the toughest thing about this is the accountability. I mean, what you're telling us and what John C. Maxwell is telling us, it starts with us.
Right here. Let's take a break and we'll be right back.
We've got a good program tonight, and you know, Gary and I always say thank you for tuning in, but in these days and times, we really appreciate you tuning in. Stay with us.
From home.
Yeah, even though he's working from home. Stay with us. We'll be back with Gary C. Johnson and Simply the Law right after this.
People are asking, what is Judo Law? Judo is a martial art that uses the opponent's strength to defeat them by not opposing it directly. Gary C. Johnson created a method of practicing law based upon that principle. It worked so well, he named it Judo Law. To see the results, go to GaryCJohnson.com. To have Gary and his team of judo lawyers go to work for you, dial pound HURT. This is an advertisement.
Welcome back into Simply the Law. I love the opening about what you're talking about, but I've got one question for you. The big factor to me is the awareness, because what I find from what you've already been reading is sometimes we're not aware that we're doing these things. We're not aware that we're being negative.
We're not aware that we're being chippy with someone in our office. We're not even aware that we're putting ourselves down or doing damage to ourselves. And if sometimes somebody calls you out and asks you, you would say, well, I wasn't doing that. I don't think. You're just not aware that you're doing it.
Being the way Keith is talking about, somehow, for some reason, comes natural.
Yeah.
And to have a positive attitude, you have to work at it. To be positive and not negative, you have to work at it. And it's like if you start working out on a machine with weights or whatever, and then you quit, what happens to your muscles? Flab. Same way with your attitude. Same way with your sense of self. Same way with your own self-image of yourself. It takes work to be all you can be. I'm not talking outside. You can do whatever you want to with weight and diet and all that on your outside appearance. What I'm talking about on the inside. Inside takes as much work to stay healthy as the outside.
Okay, now there's a great comparison. I'm glad you brought that up. You've told us that we're unique on the outside. No one looks like us, ever will again, but we're also unique on the inside. Now you're telling us all the work that we do to the outside, the physical appearance, we've got to do that much work for the inside also.
Right, it's nothing free. It's not, nothing, I mean, it's not. And if you want to be all you can be, and you want to be a good, decent person that people want to be around, you have to work at it. You have to think you have to use your brain. You have to put that brain in motion before you put this mouth in motion. You have to be what you can be, and you can, but you have to work at it. It's not just some thing that's happening because you're who you are. Right?
Oh, well, yeah. And then here's the thing you get. You're working at it, but you get a busy day. You get some things that go wrong. You spill something on your desk. All these things multiply, and then you use all those little aggravations to do what? To be a little you-know-what to somebody in the office or at home or whatever.
How many of you said, oh, I've had a bad day, so that gives me the luxury of being mean to you? It doesn't. It doesn't give you any luxury to anything. Go back and figure out why you had a bad day. It's probably your fault. Okay?
You're right. That's the crutch. I had a bad day. Oh, I don't feel good. And because I don't feel good, I can be short with you or chippy with you. Yeah. Or do you know what's going on at work? Because of work,
That's a luxury you cannot afford if you're going to be all you can be. And my friends, aren't we going to be all we can be? We can't be any more than we can be, right? But at least we can strive to be all we can be. The next thing I want to read to you about in this book is your beliefs and thoughts and how important they are concerning your attitude. So, I'm going to go to the book. Ready? Got glasses so I can read. You get older, you have to have glasses, folks. Beliefs. Page 10, what you think. Many of the factors I mentioned that have come together to shape your attitude were set in motion in your past. But do you know what forms and sustains your attitude most today? Your thoughts. As we have called it so many times on this show, your chatterbox, that little voice inside your head. As author and successful businessman Bob Conklin indicated in the following piece, thoughts make a huge impact on you. And I'm going to read you what Bob Conklin had to say that Maxwell wrote. Thoughts. I can make you rise or fall. I can work for you or against you. I can make you a success or a failure. I control the way you feel and the way you act. I can make you laugh, work, love. I can make your heart sing with joy, excitement, and elation. Or I can make you wretched, dejected, morbid. I can make you sick, listless, I can be as a shackle, heavy, attached, burdensome. Or I can be the prism hue, dancing, bright, fleeting, lost forever unless captured by a pen or purpose. I can be nurtured and grown to be great and beautiful, seen by the eyes of others through action in you. I can never be removed, but I can be replaced. I am thought. Why not get to know me better? Now, isn't that profound?
That is profound, and I will share with my friends a great lesson that you did for me. I asked you, I said, Gary, how do you control the thoughts? Because sometimes the chatterbox gives you negative thoughts. And you said, when they come, pull out a pad of paper and write them down. No matter how negative, how bad, write them down to a T. And then let's talk about them. They came, I wrote them down, Gary read them back to me, and I was horrified that I had had these thoughts, and once I had written them down, you said, I'll bet you they don't come back. And week after week, I would write down the thoughts, and guess what? They were all positive. They were all good. After I addressed those negative thoughts, they went away.
It can be that simple, my friends. Those thoughts that go on and on and on in your head that are causing you to be miserable, write the things down, and you will see how stupid they are.
Ludicrous.
Talk to somebody about them and have a good life on how stupid that thought is. Then move on. And I promise you, from my experience, I may be wrong, but Keith just validated it. It won't come back. It's so stupid it can't come back. So do it.
It is amazing because when Gary read them, he said, you wouldn't say these things to your worst enemy. And I said, absolutely not. And you said, why would you say them to yourself? I wadded up the paper, threw it away, and after that, every time I would write down thoughts, they were all positive. The negative thoughts went away. When you really addressed them and looked at them, they were ludicrous.
Friends, let's take a break and we'll be right back.
It is fun to learn, and more than that, it is fun to have fun and be happy and live this life, and that's what this program is all about. Stay with us. Gary C. Johnson and Simply the Law comes back right after this. Eastern Kentucky, Southern West Virginia, and Southwest Virginia. It can be a tough territory to reach when it comes to marketing. We can help. We can also help you find your identification. And we have plenty of services to do it and a lot of experience behind us, over 37 years. In fact, we've either booked or sold nearly $70 million in advertising in this region. You need a new voice, a new idea, a new concept? Casebolt Marketing. We're ready to go to work for you today. Our motto is nothing happens until you make it happen. So let's get started today. Welcome back into Simply the Law. You know, I was just thinking during the break, you have tried to simplify the law for us, how the law works, and life, I guess, is about the same way. There are simple laws to life. You get out what you put in, you're only going to be as happy as you choose to be, and you're kind of giving us the simple laws to living a better and happier life.
There's laws of life, just like the laws from the legislature. Really and truly, I've had a wonderful career. People have been good to me. I've had wonderful, wonderful clients over the years and still have wonderful clients. Love every one of them. And I've been able to get ahead a little bit. But I've also had a good time, a really good time, hanging out with those people and practicing law and just doing it. The one thing I will say, because you have to talk a little bit of law, right, on Simply the Law. If there's a lawsuit involving a personal injury, there's insurance. Just remember that. Even though the insurance company is not named, there's an insurance company that chose a lawyer to defend the case that's actually defending the case. And it's not the person that did the harm. The person that did the harm may very well want you to recover, but they can't say that because do away with their insurance. Just thought I'd pass that on to you. If there's a lawsuit, there's insurance. Now, let's go back to Maxwell. One of my favorite sayings that I ran into many, many years ago was, to change is to grow, to have changed often is to have grown much. Well, when I was reading this book by John Maxwell, he talks about change. And there's a wonderful poem in it about change. And if you guys will hang with me, I'd love to read it for you because it's pretty thought-provoking and profound. And remember, one of the sayings we've said so many years over this show is, if I can get my friends to thinking, they will have a better life, right? So let's go to the book. The first thing he says about change is this, a little simple point. Though you cannot go back and make a brand new start, my friend, anyone can start from now and make a brand new end. Now,
That's good.
It's never too late to change. No matter how far you have gone on the wrong road, turn back. My friend Dick Biggs, a speaker and author, delivers a program called The Headache of Changing or The Headache of Not Changing. He wrote a poem about it, and he allowed him to put it in this book, and I'm taking it upon myself to give them credit and read it on this program because it is a neat poem. So listen up, folks, those of you that are watching. This is pretty good stuff, I think. And the name of the poem is Will I Master Change or Will Change Master Me by Dick Biggs, B-I-G-G-S. Life's turning points are as sure as the tide, just a matter of when, so why not decide? To embrace these transitions as a way to grow, 'tis folly to ignore what you already know. Make a vow to adapt to the crisis of life. There's no reason to suffer more stress or strife. Quite often changes become a blessing in time while making you wiser in pursuit of your prime. No change is impossible. No one is exempt. You can step out in faith or shrug with contempt. Life comes in cycles. No two are the same. Nothing to claim new. It's a naive game. Some change is impractical. Some things must endure. You need worthwhile values, so profound and pure. 'Tis a noble purpose to guide you each day and give life meaning as you forge your way. But most things do change. It's a natural law. Do you believe this is truth or stand there in awe? It may be uncomfortable. It may cause pain. Won't a regretful heart be a greater strain? With every change, there's an outcome to bear, so accept the challenge, for life is seldom fair. Be willing to risk, and you're bound to find more courage and strength from a positive mind. Be bold, be daring, be receptive to change, for most things are better when you rearrange. Get out of the rut, seek a new vitality. Move beyond the old to a fresh reality. Life's turning points, they won't disappear. Rise up to greet them and conquer your fear. The choice is simple, it's as clear as can be. Will I master change or will change master me? Isn't that pretty profound, Keith?
It's not only profound, I like it because the whole message in that poem is whatever the situation is, you have the power to say, I'm going to change it. And you had a quote on the radio the other day, the things you can tolerate, you will never change. But when you reach a point to where you say, I no longer can tolerate this, you will make the decision to change.
I want you to think back about changes in your life, my friends, that you hated, that you fought, that you whined and cried about, and you were
Worried about?
Yeah. And in hindsight, they were the best thing that ever happened to you. That reminds me of the saying, it could be good, it could be bad, time will tell. So no matter what's happening in your life, give it some time. That change you're going through, with all this stuff, there's all kinds of change going on in this country right now. But see, I don't even have a tie on. That's a big change, right? Think about it. Go with the flow. And remember, change is natural as breathing, and it will happen. Don't let it get you down. Don't let it depress you. Don't let you have fear and anxiety. I read a quote the other day, and I forgot to put it. Is fear and anxiety or interest you're paying on a debt you may never owe? Think about that.
That's good.
I'm going to say that again. Fear and anxiety are interest you may be paying on a debt you may never owe.
You know, and I got to tell our friends, I would come to Gary all the time and go, what do you think about this situation? And he would say, it could be good, could be bad, time will tell. And I always wanted a reaction. And then I realized you were giving me the wisest reaction possible, because truly, time would tell. Some of the things I thought would be good turned out to be bad. Some of the things I thought were going to be horrible turned out to be great.
Don't know.
You just don't know.
You have to, if you have the right attitude, more likely than not, everything in your life will be positive and good. If you have a bad attitude, you let your thoughts control you to make you miserable, everything will go wrong. And it's like that quote, take charge of your life, but it's a terrible thing. You won't have anybody to blame, right?
The other thing that this is asking you to do is to have patience by saying time will tell. What was the quote you had the other day about patience?
Shoot.
I think it went something like patience will always uncover deception or something like that.
Right, patience will always unveil deception.
Yeah.
So if you're patient and wait it out, you'll always see where somebody's trying to fool you or trick you or trying to get you to do something. That's what they were talking about, was when somebody says, you got to do this now, you got to do this today, you got to do this right now, now. You need patience.
And that applies to saying, is this going to be a good thing or is this going to be a bad thing? Instead of jumping and saying it's good or it's bad, use that patience and that time to say, time will tell me.
Time will tell. Be patient. And don't ever fall for that situation where they say you've got to do this today or you're going to miss out. You're much better off missing out. Much better missing out, trust me.
As Gary says, the first loss is always the best loss. My friend, thank you so much for the information. This was a great program. John C. Maxwell was the book. On behalf of Gary C. Johnson, I'm Keith Casebolt. Thank you so much for tuning into Simply the Law. As always, Gary and I look forward to seeing you again next week, right here at this same time.
Thank you for watching Simply the Law, a program created by Gary C. Johnson. Until next week, may you be safe, blessed, and happy.